Chapter 10. The Value of Honor and a Good Name. Section 1. Opening. The Wisdom Frequency. Welcome back to the Wisdom Lab on NovaLogos Audio English. In our previous session, we discussed the humility required to listen to counsel, the internal opening of the ear. Today, we look at the external result of a life lived with such wisdom, your reputation. We are exploring Chapter 10, The Value of Honor and a Good Name. In our modern era, we are obsessed with personal branding and image. We spend hours curating how we look on social media, often prioritizing our popularity over our integrity. But wisdom suggests that there is a massive difference between fame and honor. Fame is what people say about you to your face. Honor is the weight of your character when you are not in the room. A good name is not a marketing strategy. It is a spiritual asset that is more stable than currency and more precious than jewels. Our foundational principle for this chapter comes from the Book of Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 1. A good name is more desirable than great riches, and high esteem than silver and gold. Notice the hierarchy of value. Wisdom places your name, the sum total of your integrity, above liquid assets. Why? Because riches can be stolen or lost in a market crash, but a good name is a fortress that protects you and your family for generations. Today, we will examine how to build a name that stands the test of time and truth. Section 2. The Verses, Wisdom in Multi-Angles. To understand the weight of a good name, we must realize that our reputation is the echo of our soul in the ears of others. Let's look at how the Book of Sirach warns us about the fragility and endurance of this asset in chapter 41, verse 12. Have a care for your name, for it will stand by you longer than 1,000 great treasures of gold. The good things of life last a limited number of days, but a good name lasts forever. The Scripture creates a contrast between the ituto man, perishable, and the eternal. Gold is perishable. Even life itself, in its earthly form, is limited. But your name, the legacy of your kindness, your honesty, and your faithfulness, has a quality of forever. It is the one thing you take with you and leave behind at the same time. Now, let's look at the source of this honor. Does it come from seeking human praise? The Book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 23, gives us a clue. A person's pride brings him low, but the lowly in spirit gain honor. This is the central paradox of a good name. If you chase honor, it runs away from you. If you chase humility and service, honor follows you. True honor is a byproduct of a life lived for a higher purpose. When you are lowly in spirit, you aren't worried about your image. You are worried about the truth. And it is that commitment to truth that eventually builds a name people can trust. Finally, consider the ultimate audience for our name. In the Book of Wisdom, chapter 4, verse 1, we see, "Better is childlessness with virtue, for in the memory of virtue is immortality, because it is known both by God and by mortals." A truly good name is known both by God and by mortals. It is a life where the hidden person of the heart matches the public person of the world. There is no shadow, no mask. This consistency is what the wisdom tradition calls integrity. Section 3. Modern Scenarios. Wisdom in the Wild. How do we value a good name in a world that often rewards the loudest and the most ruthless? Scenario A. The shortcut to success. Imagine you are in a business negotiation. You have the opportunity to make a massive profit by being slightly economical with the truth. No one will ever find out. It would mean great riches in the short term. The Wisdom Lab reminds you that a good name is more desirable than great riches. If you take the shortcut, you might gain silver, but you lose the weight of your name. Years later, when you need to be trusted for something far more important than money, people will remember the scent of that dishonesty. By choosing the long path of absolute integrity, you are investing in a treasure of gold that lasts forever, your reputation as a person of your word. Scenario B. The crisis of public criticism. Imagine someone spreads a false rumor about you or criticizes you unfairly in a public forum. Your impulse is to defend your brand with anger and counterattacks. Wisdom suggests that the lowly in spirit gain honor. Instead of a frantic defense of your image, you focus on your character. You allow your consistent life to be your defense. Over time, the memory of virtue outlasts the noise of the rumor. You realize that you are not responsible for what people think of you, but you are entirely responsible for who you are before God. When your public self and hidden self are aligned, you possess a peace that public opinion cannot touch. Section 4. The Wisdom Paradox. The Balance Point. Now, let's explore the wisdom paradox, worldly reputation versus truth before God. The paradox is that while we are told to have a care for our name, we are also warned that the world often hates the righteous. How do we balance being respected by others with being faithful to the truth? The balance point. Human esteem versus divine approval. 1. The error of the people-pleaser. This person mistakes popularity for honor. They change their values depending on who they are with just to keep their good name in the eyes of the crowd. They have a famous name, but it has no substance. They are like a beautiful box with nothing inside. 2. The error of the reckless idealist. This person claims they don't care what anyone thinks and uses that as an excuse to be rude, harsh, or needlessly controversial. They destroy their good name and blame it on their commitment to truth. They forget that wisdom is resplendent and attractive. The desirable path. We call this internal alignment. You care about your name because your name represents the truth you serve. You don't seek human praise, but you live such a virtuous life that human praise is a natural, though secondary, result. If the world hates you for doing what is right, your name remains great in the eyes of God, and that is the only audience that truly matters. True honor is when the person God sees and the person the world sees are becoming the same person. Section 5. Language Masterclass: The Structure of Wisdom. Let's look at the vocabulary of legacy and value. A. More desirable than great riches. In English, the structure A is more desirable than B is used to set a clear priority. It's not saying B is bad, it's saying A is of a higher order. Practice saying, I choose integrity because a good name is more desirable than great riches. B. High esteem. The word esteem, noun, means respect and admiration. High acts as an intensifier. High esteem isn't about being famous. It's about being held in high regard because of your proven character. Circa memory of virtue. From the Book of Wisdom, this phrase refers to the legacy you leave behind. In English, virtue is more than just being good. It is moral excellence in action. The memory of virtue means that your impact on the world continues even when you are not physically present. Section 6. Closing. Seal the word. As we finish our 10th session in the Wisdom Lab, I want you to reflect on your name. If someone were to describe you in 3 words when you aren't there to hear them, what would those words be? Are those words based on silver and gold, or are they based on virtue and truth? A good name is built by 1,000 small acts of honesty and kindness. It is destroyed by 1 act of cowardice or deceit. Today, do something that cares for your name, not for the sake of your pride, but for the sake of the truth you represent. Remember the words of Proverbs chapter 22, verse 1. A good name is more desirable than great riches. Value your character as your greatest wealth. In chapter 11, we will dive into the specific mechanism that protects this good name. We will explore the reward of integrity and how a transparent, honest life provides a power and a freedom that the world can never duplicate. If you are ready to build a name that lasts forever, please like this video and subscribe to NovaLogos Audio English. Let's invest in the treasures that truly matter. Until next time, be honorable and walk in peace. Goodbye.